It's morning of day 8, where we were bush camped on the track, the access track to Surveyor General's Corner, which is the boundary for the 3 states, Northern Territory, South Australia and Western Australia. Yesterday when Tom was at the clinic, there wasn't a doctor there, just a nurse, and the nurse said, could be COVID. Tom's not well at all. He's really struggling. You know, to have an undisplaced fracture is one thing, but then to have COVID on top of that, yeah, he's not travelling very well at all. So we're just outside Wingalinga, a remote Aboriginal community. He's going to go there and see if he can get some assistance from a medical centre or something. The other three are going to go to Surveyor General's Corner. Tom's been there before, he's not missing much. So yeah, he'll go straight to Wingalinga. We'll make our way to Surveyor General's Corner and link up with him about 45 minutes later. We're encouraging him to stay here overnight at the medical centre because it's that serious that I think he needs to be under observation. We're encouraging him to stay here overnight at the medical centre because it's that serious that I think he needs to be under observation. But it's a stubborn old fool and it's ultimately his choice. So we'll see what happens. He's a stubborn old fool. So yeah, we'll get onto the access track. He'll turn right, we'll turn left. We won't be far behind him. He's still leaning towards continuing on today, and I'm trying to encourage him not to. It's not far, it's only about another 2 kilometres up the road. I think there's a little bit of twin track. And this is it here. And there's the plinth that marks, yeah, the junction of the 3 states. We'll pull over here long enough for these guys to have a look-see. There's an information board there. There's a water tank there. I'm not sure if there'll be any potable water in there. But yeah, we'll just pull up here for a few minutes. There is a visitor's book that people can sign. I'll be interested to see who was here last. I'm curious when the last entry was. It does get a bit of through traffic here. It's full. Now we're approaching the main road. There is a track directly opposite this track heading, that's the shortest possible route to the community, but I think it's no better than a 4-wheel drive track. I did take it some years ago. I've said to Dave, we'll go down there, we'll test the waters, and if it's too snotty, then we'll just turn around, come back and go down the main road and pick up the main access track into the community. But yeah, I don't want to backtrack if I don't have to. The track in question, I think that's the one all the locals use. I thought it was directly opposite. Maybe it's not. Maybe it was. Maybe it was, and now maybe it isn't. We'll just go down here a little bit. Doesn't look good. I think there's a bit of a clearing up here. We'll go back. We'll go back. Nah, if there was a track, it's not in use anymore. So my guess is Tom being Tom, he would have gone back to the original access track and then cut in 7k's. Go back. But I remember doing the track some years ago, so you know, I don't make this shit up. And I do remember it went over some high ground to get to the community. There's no evidence of it now. Here's the turn off to the community. It's 7 kilometres in.
and it's just before 9 o'clock, and if I was a betting man I'd be saying that the store's not going to open until 9 AM anyway for fuel. Wingalina Gallery, right. Right, here's the community, there's their airstrip. These places would get visited by the Royal Flying Doctor Service once or twice a week, and of course they use that for medical evacuations when they have to. Now when we leave here we need a fuel range of 500 kilometres. It's 500 kilometres till the next stop, for fuel at least. And although all the bikes would probably be able to do it, if we strike a bit of a headwind it could mean all the difference. So I think all of us are just going to carry a few spare litres in our bladders just to be sure. Town's probably this way, won't be hard to find. And see some activity up there. Tom's bike. I can hear kids. There's Tom.
I've got fucking COVID. Have a bit of fucking
269, what did you say, Tom?
She said she's opening the back for you. You go in the back and pay. She's fucking cloud. I can't believe I do what it is now. Yeah, it's long enough.
Yeah. Colin. Folks, Colin here watches the channel. Now you can't get any more Australian than that. Good on you, mate.
And this is Adrian.
Adrian, how are you, man? Adrian's been looking after us while we've been here because, yeah, he's the custodian. So,
Good to meet you, man.
welcome to Australia.
You watch the channel? What are you doing? No, get there, mate, get there. Oh, who would have thought? That's gold. That is absolute gold. Anyway, look, I never saw that coming. I never saw that coming. No, good on them. But yeah, she's a pretty wild town. The shop remained shut. It was supposed to open at 9:30. They actually opened up early to give us fuel, but they're keeping the doors closed today because of all the ruckus. Anyway, we're going to get underway. From here we're going to cross into South Australia, and we're actually going to enter the APY lands. This was the road we were on earlier. So we turn right and we'll cross the border in only a couple of minutes. It's not a lot of fanfare. And then we'll enter South Australia, where conditions will change, the time zone will change, and yeah, we just follow the road through the APY lands for about 400 kilometres, I guess. This is the border crossing here. Yeah, okay, no worries. Yeah, the reason it's called the APY lands is there's three communities through here, and nobody can pronounce their names, so they call it the APY lands. Stunning vista, stunning landscapes through here. I much prefer to travel this road than Great Central Road. If you don't have a mountain range on the left, you have one on the right. It's stunning, absolutely stunning. And in fact, South Australia's tallest peak is along this stretch. Beautiful.
Come on, 1,
never known a stretch of road to have so many abandoned vehicles. There's one, there's one per kilometre out here.
오해하게 하지 말아요 날 가뭄 같은 마음엔 뭐라도 단비가 돼요 의미한 말에 자꾸 내 맘이 설레요 그래요 아름다운 그대와 단둘이서 걷고 싶은
That one looks like a freshie.
난 그대만 보이네요 밤하늘의 별도 밝게 비춘 달도 그대 앞에 빛을 잃어요
We just pulled over what was the original alignment of the old gun barrel highway through here. Just got off the main road for a break, for a spell. So yeah, according to the maps, this is the original alignment from all those years ago. Good on you, Len. Camel ahead. I can only see one on the road at the moment. It might be the buck, the male. Might have a few ladies with him. Yeah, he's not scared of us. He's in good shape. G'day mate, how you going? Perfectly adapted to the Australian conditions. Don't know if it's a dingo or just a wild dog. Certainly not scared of us. Bit unusual. Just out for a walk. Oh, it's not in real good shape. Oh yeah. No, it's definitely not a dingo. Just a domestic dog. Saw a pack of brumbies back there, about a dozen of them. They all looked in good shape too. Yeah, I think it's probably time for another break. Problem is trying to get far enough off the road so that we don't become a distraction. Yeah, stunning country through here. I never tire of it. Pity we don't have the time. I reckon this track will lead right up to the base of those hills there. Be a wonderful overnight campsite. As the sun goes down, the colours of the rocks and the landscape just constantly changes. Beautiful. Right, we've got 231 kilometres to Colgira. We're not going to make that today. We've only got about another 1.5 hours of riding before we pull up and find a bush camp. Yeah, we did lose a little bit of time this morning, of course. It doesn't really matter, we don't have a schedule to keep, so to speak. Well, we do, but it's pretty loose. So yeah, we'll get back on the main road, keep heading east. The road conditions are good. I know years ago they spent millions of dollars improving the access to these communities out here, and I knew the road conditions would have been in good shape, which they are. This T-junction is a critical point for us. We have to turn left here. The AP Wildlands does continue on if you turn right, and the country through that part is absolutely even more breathtaking than what we've been through. But no, we've got to turn left here, and that is the most direct route to Colgira where we're going. Tom's just doing a nav check. I've been through here several times. I know the lay of the land. Well, this junction is also a critical one. We've actually entered the Northern Territory now. Did that about 30 kilometres ago. If you want to go to Uluru or Alice Springs, you turn left. But if you want to go to Colgira and the Stuart Highway or Adelaide, you turn right, and that's what we'll be doing. From memory, I think this is called Mulga Park Road. Let Tom take the lead, he can set the pace, stay out of the dust. We got about an hour till we start looking for a campsite. Probably get another 80 kilometres under our belt. I noticed that Tom slowed down. That means he's probably looking at his maps, looking for tracks leading off to the left or right, just to allow us to access a campsite. No idea I can see him now. He's just up here. I've got at least one headlight behind me. Maybe park alongside or very near the track. Yeah, in this case we're going to park or set up on either side of the track, I think. That'll be alright. Alright, morning of slacker. Morning of day 9 for us. Well, except Dave. We'll just make our way back to Mulga Park Road. On some GPSs that actually says it's the old Gunbarrel Highway. So yeah, we'll go back to Mulga Park Road, turn left, follow that for about 80 kilometres and then turn left onto the Stuart Highway and head towards Colgira. In 25 words or less for today, yeah, Colgira for fuel, maybe a bite to eat. From there we've got to make a couple of phone calls to Fink, which is another Aboriginal community, but we're concerned about their opening times. I mean, today is Thursday, it's a day of the week, but some of these places close at 11 and open at 1, and obtaining fuel could be an issue depending on when we get there. After that we'll continue heading east, cross the Fink River, which should be dry, and then continue heading east to Old Andado, which will be our destination for this evening if all the ducks line up. And there's yeah, some interesting backstory to Old Andado, but more about that later. Yesterday while at Wingalina, Tom was able to go to the health clinic there and he was able to confirm that yes, in fact he does have COVID. He really concerned me yesterday morning. I thought he was one breath away from death. largely improved today, certainly a lot better, but yeah, yesterday worried me. But anyway, hopefully he has not passed that on to any of us. He may have picked it up from the shooter shack. Lots of blokes in a confined space. Anyway, as I said, he's on the mend at least. This is the Stewart Highway. Turn right to go to Adelaide, turn left to go to Alice Springs, and in fact Darwin. We're only going up the road 20 kilometres and then continuing to head east. Couple of things to do while we're here. One is to contact Fink, inquire about their opening times and the refueling setup there. Some of these places are 24/7. Right, off to Fink, famous or noteworthy because of the Fink Desert Race held here in Australia from Alice Springs to Fink and then return over a 3-day long weekend in June. We've made the call and there is fuel available 24/7 using a swipe card, which is common for a lot of these remote communities here in the Northern Territory. I wish other states could follow suit. The general store is open from 9 till 1 and then 2 till 5, so it's closed for lunch. When we get there it'll probably be closed, but we can fill in a bit of time by looking at maps and refueling, and maybe have a look at the actual circuit that they use for the desert race, for the Fink Desert Race. It's just the track that goes alongside the old Goin alignment, which was the railway line. Next service, Fink, 145 kilometres. We will be stopping halfway between here and there at a junction which is Lambert's geographical centre of Australia. Old mate Lambert was a surveyor and he took 248 points around the Australian coastline at high tide, and where they all intersected became the geographical centre of Australia. More on that later. This is the new alignment for the railway going from Adelaide north to Darwin. As I said before, the original Goin alignment went through Fink, but after being washed away on several parts of the route from Adelaide to Darwin, bridges were being lost every few years to flooding, so they decided to realign the whole track. Well, this is Lambert's geographical centre of Australia. We won't be going in there. There's a couple of dunes and it can be a bit tricky on loaded bikes, so we won't be going in there. I have been there a couple of times before, both on the motorbike and in the four-wheel drive. The unusual thing about the location is they've got a flagstaff there flying the national flag, and that flagstaff is a replica of the one that is flying above Parliament House here in Canberra in Australia. So yeah, we won't be going in. Save that for another occasion. I do have a friend who wants his ashes scattered there after he passes, and he's left that responsibility to me to get him there. Not quite sure how I'm going to figure that out, but we will. We are approaching the Aboriginal community of Fink. What we'll do, the general store is closed at the moment. I'll take these boys to what I think is the pit area for the Fink Desert race, and of course the track itself is alongside that. They can have a look at that. Now if you turn right here, that'll take you to Mount Dare, which is the western edge of the Simpson Desert. There was a sign back there, something about the old Goin railway siding. As I said, that's why this place existed. Out to our front there looks like a water tank that would have been used for back in the day when it was steam. Probably used now for the town water supply. That's the general store and the refueling there. There you go. See, I don't make this shit up. That, I guess, would be the pits, and this is the actual circuit itself. It used to be on the old alignment of the Goin railway line, and although it looks quite wide and quite fast here, it doesn't take long before it just becomes pretty much single lane and lots of whoops. And these guys are doing, I don't know, 140, 150, 160 kilometres an hour. You know, they have their disasters. This is the Goin Heritage Trail. This is not the racetrack. This would have been the old railway line, the alignment. Yeah, it's elevated, it's flat, level. So yeah, this would have been the original railway line. And the racetrack is that track alongside us, which may have been the original track used for line maintenance, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so this is the actual track itself. Yeah, so this is the actual race track. I reckon they'd be happy. Oh, maybe this was a mistake. I reckon they'd be happy getting here. I don't know how long it is, how far. Oh shit, this could have been a mistake. What was I thinking? And they're doing 160 kilometres an hour along here. It looks like Tom's been having a bit of a sand dance along here. Holy shit. No, that's it. Welcome to Fink. Many voices, one dream. Right, what's the setup for fuel? Oh, here we go, look at that, perfect. Diesel unloaded. Alright, we're about to leave Fink and make our way to Old Andado. There's a sign there, it provides a bit of comfort. Andado this way. While we were here we had to fill up our tanks to the absolute maximum, but also stick some fuel in Jerry's as well, because after Old Andado we're going to head towards Alice Springs, but it could be via Chambers Pillar, which is a bit of a diversion, quite a big diversion. So we've had to make allowances for that. Yeah, from here head east across the Fink River. It's 120 kilometres. Not sure what the road's like. This is all new to me, this territory, which is always a bit exciting. Tom has been here once before. Somebody wants a high five. Good on them. Alice Springs via New Crown. I don't know what that is. The fact that it says via Alice Springs is provides a bit of comfort, because I don't know what the conditions are like after we leave old Andado, but it must be okay. Anyway, we'll know more today and tomorrow. Looks like dune country to our immediate front. In fact, it looks like we actually cross it. That could be the western edge of the Simpson Desert for all I know. It certainly is remote and desolate. Oh, there's the homestead. Wow, wasn't expecting that. We're going to be here tonight for a couple of hours tomorrow morning. We'll have a crawl around the place and take it from there.